So it's the year 2035, and the class of 92 reborn in 2020 have hopefully had quite a successful career. Obviously, as we've already seen, some of them more successful than others, but they're now coming up to the age of their early to mid 30s, so they might be coming towards the end of their career. I think they're about 33 now. We'll double check that. I'm pretty sure that's right. But they should be coming towards the end of their career. Some of them may have retired. I'm not sure. Maybe some of them have got a few more years in them, but have they lived up to their potential? Let's find out. Okay, so I'm noticing some varying results here. Only 3 of the class of 92 have remained at Manchester United. And let's go top down. Let's go for the most successful one, Ryan Giggs. I mean, he still looks pretty good, doesn't he? I'd still be playing him. Are Manchester United still playing him? Valued at 29 million, 33 years of age. Manchester United are still playing him. The only thing I'm a bit upset about, they're playing him as they're playing him, they've given him the number 7. I kind of wish he had the number 11. I kind of want to find out who's got that number 11. Can I find that out here? How do I find that out? I could just flick through, can't I? So Augusto Aramaya, or Aramayo, or Arameo, is the one that's got the number 11 and is keeping Ryan Giggs from continuing the legacy of the number 11. Having a look at Ryan Giggs's personal awards, I'm noticing quite a lot. Another seasonal best 11. Team of the week a couple of times. Only twice this year, so maybe this year he's kind of dropped off a bit. But in 2034 and every year before that, he is winning loads. Mainly team of the weeks. He's in a lot of the team of the weeks. But if we have a look at the Manchester United seasonal best 11, this is messed up a little bit. We can see Ryan Giggs is in there. But if we look at the overall best 11, Ryan Giggs, once again, makes it in that team. Do we have anyone else? You can't see it because my face is in the way, but we have Gary Neville in there as well. We'll have a look at him in a second. Let's see who's next. It is Gary Neville anyway, so that doesn't matter. We'll carry on with Gary. So, still at Manchester United as well. Played a little bit at left wing by the looks of it. Interesting choice from whoever's in charge. Who is it in charge? It's still Solskjaer. It is still Solskjaer. So I can only assume that Solskjaer has either shaped these players to be world class, or these players have saved him from losing his job. Maybe. But yes, interesting decision from Solskjaer to play Gary Neville as a left winger. But if it works, it works. But I mean, Gary Neville still, I will continue to say he's still not the perfect fullback. Just because of his tackling. Other than that, though, he's got his crossing up to 15. Dribbling, I'm not too keen on. But other than that, I mean, as it says there, legendary fullback. He looks very, very good. And again, if we look at some of these individual awards, not as many as Ryan Giggs, more this year than Ryan Giggs, but on the whole, not as many as Ryan Giggs, but still is getting plenty of team of the weeks, world team of the year. Let's have a look at that. Have we have a look at all seasons? Ryan Giggs is in there. Ryan Giggs is fully considered one of the best players in the world right now. I mean, I can notice here, Kylian Mbappe's retired. This is how far into the future we are. He's retired at 35. He had quite a good career at PSG, but he decided not to stay on as a member of coaching staff or even as a manager. He's just decided to hang his boots up. Fair play. Well done, Kylian. So, moving on to Phil Neville. He's a bit more of my kind of fullback, I'll be honest. 16 crossing, 15 tackling. Only 11 dribbling, but I think I can forgive him for that. He is very good. He's very good. 6 foot, he could play at centre-back if I wanted him to. I'll tell you what, the reborn Phil Neville is exactly who I want in my teams. And once again, looking at, I mean, he's got loads as well. Not so many this year, but previously, loads of team of the weeks. I think all we can say, really, I've noticed a World Cup Dream 11 he was in. What year was that? 34, was it? It doesn't look like it was. If we go back one more, there he is. Gary Neville as well. Gary Neville, Phil Neville, both in the Dream 11 for the World Cup. So now moving on to one of the lesser of the success stories. Paul Scholes does not look like a bad player whatsoever, but he's not quite at the level of the other boys so far. He's got some standout attributes, that's for sure, but in terms of being a well-rounded player, he's not quite done it. He's made plenty of moves. As we saw, he moved to Norwich on a free without even making an appearance for United. Moved to Southampton, to Reading, to Palace, where he spent quite a considerable time playing plenty of football. You know, mainly in the Championship, really, for Reading and Palace. But he's got his move to a Premier League side for West Ham, where he's done an okay job. It's not what we'd hope for Paul Scholes. This version of Paul Scholes is not going to be having the conversation with Lampard and Gerrard. Let's just say that. And if we look at his individual awards, I mean, he's making the team of the week in the Championship quite a bit. But other than that, he's not really doing a lot. I mean, I don't know how many caps he actually got for England. So I can't tell you whether he got any more. Maybe you can tell me. Down in the description, if you know how many caps Paul Scholes made for England previously, you can tell me whether he's made any more here. So apparently he couldn't make it in England any longer, that is. So he's moved to Celtic and he's decided he wants to dominate the Scottish Premier League, is it? I don't know. Is it the Scottish Premier? It is the Scottish Premiership. I should know what it's called. But Nicky Butt, I think, has had one of the most successful careers, really. Getting a big move to Bayern, to Spurs, and then towards the end of his career to Celtic, where I reckon he's probably one of the best players. If we have a look at this, 16 assists in his most recent season. I mean, if we have a look at his stats again, he's quite similar to Paul Scholes, I think. He's got some standout attributes, but all together, he's not quite the complete player. He's still very good, don't get me wrong, but he's not quite at the Ryan Giggs level. But now if we look at his individual awards, it's not quite as impressive as everyone else. He's making seasonal 11s, but he's not making team of the weeks, which makes me think that maybe he's putting in a performance for the season rather than in individual matches. You know, he's made a couple of team of the weeks, but for the most part, it's just, I mean, he was in the Bayern Munich seasonal 11 alongside Jude Bellingham. Just as you do. How is Jude getting on? Let's have a look. I mean, Jude's probably similar ability to Nicky, I'd say. They're very similar looking players. Oh, David. So, David Beckham, who I think we all would have predicted could have been one of the best players out of these, well, should have been one of the best players out of all these, this class of 92 Reborn. But he's just not done it. He's now at Paderborn. He had a couple of years at Porto and even a couple of games, I should say, in Porto's B team. I don't know what's happened with David Beckham, but he's just not made it. He looks okay. His stats are all right. It's kind of like some of the others. He's got standout attributes, but nothing that really screams world-class player. He's an experienced winger. I'd give him that. He's just got relegated from the Bundesliga. They were in the Bundesliga. And no, they just got relegated. Didn't even get a chance in the playoff. They're down. They're down. So this is going to bring this video to an end. If you do enjoy it, and maybe you want to see a bit further, maybe you want to see them actually retire, maybe you want to see them if they go into coaching, which I should think the majority of them do, because I've left a lot of their wants in there. So if we look at, I think it was Gary Neville, he I can click on it, would prefer not to. You can't see it. Would prefer not to be a manager in the Championship, for example. So he still has that from when he was in the game previously. So I should think they'll go on to coaching. So if you want to see them as coaches and managers, put in the description. You can't write in the description. You can tell I'm new to this YouTube thing. So I can only apologise. If you want to see them a bit further into the future, maybe as managers, then comment down below. If you think that that's enough, then that's fair enough. We can leave it at this. They're all 33. They're not really going to do much else from now, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, they've leaked out the most of their potential. I can't imagine it getting them getting much better from now. I do want to quickly point out, though, the wages. If we look at the Nevilles and Giggs, 325, 245, 300k, and then we've got the last three on 42, 43, and 58. It's not quite what we'd hoped for those last three. And we've had 50% success, and 3 of the class of 92 Reborn have stayed at Manchester United, which I think is quite nice. But if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below if you've got an idea for an experiment you'd like to see next. And until next time, I'll see you later.